Okay guys, today I'm going to show you the new Alzo stereo to dual XLR splitter. And you know, it looks like your average cable, but this cable can be a lifesaver. It can totally save your audio on your projects when you're working with talent and you're trying to mic them up, or you're trying to boom, or you're just trying to capture audio. I'm going to show you how you can use this cable to make sure that you have redundant backups, especially when you're miking up more than one person. Now, let me just show you the Zoom H6 here, and a couple of different recorders out there now. They do offer backup audio recording, but for the Zoom H6, you can only get that backup audio recording with one of the inputs, which is the stereo input at the top here. There's a small mini jack up here. Now, what that does is you're able to record. It'll record two tracks. One track is going to be at normal volume. The other one will be at a reduced volume at, say, -12 dB. In case the first track, your talent starts to get very loud and it starts peaking, you have a backup audio track to pull from, and you can just like take a clip out of there and insert it into your normal audio, so you don't have that distorted track. So it's always great to have a backup recording. Unfortunately, the Zoom H6 and most recorders will only give you that backup recording on, say, one track, or you're using a recorder that doesn't have as many inputs as the Zoom H6. This one can actually input up to 6 XLR inputs. Now, even though it has a stereo input at the top here, this module can be replaced. So you pull this off, and you can replace this with another module that has 2 more XLR inputs. So they call it the Zoom H6 because it has 6 inputs. You have 2 here on the side, you have 2 here on the side, you have a stereo or dual XLR on the top. So 6 inputs, great thing to have. Now I'm going to show you a typical way of setting up your audio is you have a lav mic on your body pack here and another lav mic on, say, subject B. All right, so in your Sennheiser kit or most wireless kits, you may have this stereo input adapter and also an XLR adapter that can connect to your recorder. So let's connect this guy to the stereo input up top of the Zoom. Now this is where you would control your input levels, and in the menu here you have backup audio for this stereo input. So I don't have to worry about this guy. He's safe. If he starts getting too loud, I have a backup audio track that I can pull from. Now, subject B, we have XLR inputs here on the side. Typically, what I would do is I would plug this guy in, and let's say we're using track 3. Now this guy is inputting over to track 3, and this is where I would control my levels. Now, using this body pack via XLR, I don't have a backup audio recording. If this happens to peak, if the guy just all of a sudden gets too loud, my audio is going to get distorted, and you know what, I'm pretty much screwed. So I'm going to show you a way of using the Alzo splitter. So what we're going to do is, instead of using this XLR adapter, we're going to go back to the Sennheiser stereo adapter. And here, we're going to use the splitter, the Alzo splitter, and we're going to connect these 2 XLR inputs to track 3 and track 4. Now you don't need phantom power on for the Sennheiser. Now, I'm not sure if you can see this, but one of the tracks here, let's see, I think it's this guy. If you look closely, one of the tracks here is going to be very loud, the other one's going to be at a lower volume, and that's because I'm adjusting it here. So I can tweak this to however much I like, and tweak the second backup recording to however much I like. So now I have 2 tracks, one at a lower volume. In case one starts to peak, I do have a backup audio to pull from. So this little cable here, if I didn't have it, I wouldn't be able to perform a backup audio track here. Now on the Zoom H6, again, you have 2 more inputs, so you can essentially do that with a 3rd body pack, and you can have 3 of your talent recording audio, each with its own backup track. And that's huge. I can't tell you how much I highly recommend having a cable like this to make sure that you have some sort of backup recording. And again, the Zoom H6 has multiple inputs, which adds great value when you're doing something like this ensure that you have good quality audio. Also, if I didn't mention, if you're booming with a microphone, the Alzo splitter can also be used for that as well. Let me just plug this back into track 3 and track 4. So I'm not sure if you could see that. One of the tracks here is very loud. The other track is at a lower volume, and that's with these inputs over here. So if you're booming and you're worried about peaking as well, you have a backup track to work with. And again, it's all due to this Alzo splitter here. So hopefully that tip is informative. Take a look at this cable. I'll have a link to it. More information about this stuff, check out the blog, cheesycam.com.